Let me ask you a question. What would be the absolute best way to take our public school system, which is already shot through with more problems than a math book, and make it worse? How would you do it? Well, if you're scratching your head and reaching for a pencil to start making a list, let me give you a break and just answer it for you. If you want to make it worse, just make it more chaotic. That's exactly what a bunch of school districts have decided to do. Schools are shutting down and going to remote learning again in a variety of creative ways. Some of them have just extended the Thanksgiving break. Some of them are going to part-time in-person and part-time online. It's a big mess, a conundrum, a shit show, if you will. Folks, if there's one thing I could say about all of this that should absolutely be non-controversial, it's that kids need structure in their lives. Their brains are still forming. Hell, if you've been around kids at all, you know how dumb they are. Come on. And I say that with love. They're supposed to be dumb. They're supposed to be dumb, and it's our job as their parents to foster their minds and spirits in such a way that when they get to be adults, they're not dumb anymore. Or at least they're not too dumb. Some of you out there just rolled snake eyes on the old child thing, and you know who you are. But I digress. Look, the point is the whole idea of the education system, as we all know, isn't to teach children what to think. It's to teach them how to think. And that requires that we put them in a structured, well-ordered environment with clearly defined boundaries. Now, their responsibilities and their privileges are to be stated and upheld so that the child in question comes away from his or her educational experience with a sense of how the world works, or at least how it's supposed to work. But along comes this pandemic a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, however long it's been, and all of a sudden the left throws a rabid squirrel into the cage with an already fraught educational system, because here's the thing, that system already wasn't working. Public education in this country has been coming apart at the seams for literally decades at this point. COVID was just the latest two-ton straw to fall on the camel's back. Now, there's a lot of blame to spread around for this colossal issue, and some of them are less comfortable to talk about them than others, but that's what they pay me for. I got some pretty tall boots precisely so I could step in this crap and not get it on my socks. So you can look at what a mess the government has made of all this, both at the federal level and on most of the state levels. And let's not forget our brave mainstream media friends who have just about fractured their spines, bending over backwards to scare the bejesus out of all of us and put us in a herd mentality over the past couple of years. I say the past couple of years, but of course it's been going on a hell of a lot longer than that. It's just been that it worked this time. But this also lands at the feet of nearly the entire public education system as well, from the Department of Education itself, which, by the way, educates no one, all the way down to the teachers' unions, to many teachers themselves. Not all teachers, of course, but you know they're out there, and in numbers, massive amount of numbers. All of the people involved have put their own preconceptions about this thing so far ahead of the collective student body in this country that our kids are basically relegated at this point to eating the dust of progress as it marches forward at a breakneck run. So what's the solution? Well, sadly, the solution right now is twofold, and neither thing you got to do is pretty or easy. You got to get your kids out of the public school system. I've said this over and over again. Do it any way you can, and if you can't do it right now, plan for it, work on it, find a way. The other thing you've got to do is be more active in the field. Go to school board meetings. Hell, even if you can manage to get your kids out, go to the meetings on behalf of the other kids. This problem it's just not going to go away. It's going to get worse. And let me tell you, the generation that's coming up right now needs us. They're wending their way into a world they cannot survive, and we do them the gravest of disservices if we do nothing. Folks, let's do something starting right now.